You always have to have a way of sharpening each other, so it's not bumping each other. It's not a lot of good pastors around Trump right now. We don't have good pastors around Trump. It's hard for me to trust these pastors are more into this proclaim gospel. And it's not the money, it's the love of money.
Right.
So how I know people love money? Look their heart.
Vitor, thank you for coming on my show. Brother, I have a lot of love for you. And, everybody brings you on their podcast, and I've seen so many of your podcasts, and I've seen so many of your things, and they talk about your UFC, where you came from, all of that, which is an incredible journey that you've had to come to this country at 16 years old with nothing in your pocket and to build what you've been able to build. Like I told you the other day, I look up to you so much, but not for the accomplishments that you've had in the UFC, which is tremendous. You had a Hall of Fame career, all the accolades in the world, but I look up to you as a father and a husband. I see how you are with Joanna. I see how you are with Avi, your girls, and that's truly the admiration I have for you. And I think the world needs to hear from you because you're probably one of the smartest people when it comes to just life. The knowledge, the wisdom that you have gained, the stuff that you've taught me, it's just so it's so invaluable, and I think the world needs to hear it. And I first want to start with the world is upside down. We are so divided as a nation. We're divided as a world. There's so many problems going on, and this is obviously prophesized in the Bible, and we'll get into all that. But what are your thoughts of the current state of affairs that we're in today in the world and in our home country, the United States?
Andy, you put a lot of pressure on me now. I'd like to thank you for this moment. It's always a time that you share with someone that you love. I really admire you, the way it is, your words, your commitment with what you do, and whatever you learn. You're so humble to say, okay, I can get better here, and you also good say, okay, you should get better here. So like when the Bible talking about iron sharp iron, is like it's you always have to have a way of sharpening each other, so it's not bumping each other.
Right.
It's people to understand iron sharp iron is like it's just enough touch, it's enough friction. So relationships are built with frictions. I love my wife so much because we went through harsh stuff together. I don't love her so much because it's not Rambo every day in my house.
Right.
Remember, Rambo come after storm.
Mm-hmm.
That's the analogy. And I mean, I only know one thing. I know this is the future of my life. So I use this because we love coffee. Mm-hmm. If you don't love coffee, you're sinning. Are you committing a sin?
Absolutely.
I'm just kidding. Just to be clear, if you don't love
no,
coffee.
I think I agree with you.
but let's say this is a coffee. Yeah. It's a beautiful coffee, and I have to drink the drip. So I pour water here, and then the filter, and then comes whatever it's in the top is gonna come. Mm-hmm. So the Bible for every Christian is supposed to be a filter. So if let's say Trump create a law, America create a law that is above this, I'm not going to obey this. So this is always in the top of my life. So my family, it's here. My life is here. So the Bible is the future. So whatever goes through the Bible, I admit. So for me, life is about understanding harvest. Every seed is being planted, and when it becomes fruitful, you don't eat from your own tree. It's funny because fruits are supposed to be to feed other people. Mm-hmm. We live in a Christianity where it's this prosperity gospel, where God is like a Santa Claus giving you stuff, taking you away from problem. So I always like to prescribe, an athlete. My whole life is being performed. So I knew that I have to go through a hardcore training, fight camp to become prepared to that day. And so the life of a Christian is not different. So I'm going to be using an analogy as Paul used. So you living your whole life on this earth, if it is 30 years, 40 years, 60 years, 100 years. We see people gone every day. Small baby just driving here. A friend of mine, just his sister just lost a baby.
Oh, man.
So it is how you, and he's like, I don't know how to call my sister. I say, you just do it, you know, cry, mourn with the people that mourn. So we have to be understandable that we are training in this life. So the fight day is when you get in the front of this God. And the Bible says that every knee will bow. You either bow in earth or you bow later. If you bow later, if you only bow, you're going to bow. Even in hell, people will bow his knee. So I always say, God is the God of the devil. God is the owner of hell, of heaven, every molecule, every star, everything belongs to God. So people look at God as God is like a fairy tale. Hey, I need this. Give me this. Give me that. Or if I work, if I do my work, God's going to bless me. That's not how God works. So God works to a command. We see in Deuteronomy 6, you know, where he say, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God, you with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. So it's three ways of loving God. You have to love God with all your heart, with all your emotion, with all your soul, all your mind, and with all your might. When you do that, and then he goes, today this should be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligent to your children. And now you teach your children. Now you pass along. And then you teach them on the way. You teach them diligent. You know, you should talk to them when you're sitting down to eat food. And when you walk with them, when you walk through life with them, and when they lay down and when they rise up. So it is a process, but I cannot do this if I don't love the Lord my God with all my might. So we have a lot of parenting going to church, declaring they are Christians, but they don't love the Lord with all their might. They love more the things of this world. So we're living in a very everybody is like polarizing, like left, right. No, this guy's wrong. This guy. So no one is using this, and then and then you see, and I'll be honest with you, it's not a lot of good pastors around Trump right now. Mm-hmm. We don't have good pastors around Trump. It's hard for me to trust. These pastors are more into this proclaimed gospel,
prosperity gospel.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't like to put names there, but I mean, I need to see some solid guy. They're biblical. They are into on this book, and they say amen to the book. And of course, we have a country that is a beautiful country. It's freedom, but right now we don't have a lot of freedom.
Right.
Why we don't have a lot of freedom? Because people are dictating by this hate. They're dictating by a lot of false claiming. You know, they're creating things. They jeopardize. You see, Charlie Kirk. Kirk. Yeah. So people are claiming things, creating. You know, because they want to get views. So it's all about algorithm. So I can get a like. So if I comment a hate comment, I'm gonna create more views in my page. Mm-hmm. So everybody's living through this technology, this. So we're in a huge problem because I think people don't know who are their principles. What are your morals? Tell me, why don't steal? Why don't cheat? Why don't do these things? So it's for morals, just morals. And we're gonna go over. We're gonna show people how all this thing becomes what it is today, and it's just gonna get worse and worse. So, I encourage people to. You don't need to be a Christian to understand what law is. America was found, and if I don't mistake, Harvard was found by a Christian, the Puritans.
The Puritans, yeah.
You're becoming a pastor. You leave Harvard becoming a pastor. And now
No, now Harvard is the antithesis of that.
of Christianity. So
Yeah.
we live in a big issue.
Mm-hmm.
What was built, our country was built, now is we having a monster called the wolf. Then we're going to talk about that later.
So Trump, let's talk about Trump and the pastors that are around them by not naming who's around them. But what are some of the things that you see that gives you that, like, okay, I don't trust this? Do you have an example of things that you've seen that you've said, okay, this is not adding up?
Well, I think the majority of things, like I say, and I tell this with all the respect. First, the Bible teach that women has their place in the church. So pastors have to be a male pastor. You have to be a male to become a pastor. And I just feel like they have a lot of people there, you know. And I mean, I see the hate of you just see like films and videos, and I mean, I don't see a biblical guy that would be able to say, okay, this is what Christianity look like. So when I talk about, for me, in First Timothy, talking about, you know, what is the to becoming a pastor. So becoming a pastor is it's just understanding. And I know a lot of people have different, you know, they get the Bible
Interpretations,
and
different
yeah,
interpretations.
but the Bible has only one interpretation. If you don't follow the way of creating the exegesis, like it has a meaning, you know. Like you see the parables. Every parable has only one meaning, and
Right.
you have a lot of people becomes almost like a Hollywood production. You know, they produce, you know, like things. They create things, and I'm not like a, oh man, I've been studying this Bible for many years, and I used to go to a different route. So I believed I was using this. It's like a weapon. I was using this weapon, but I was the center. I was the cause of it. It was all around my feelings. And when you start using this weapon to see, you got to know who are you, who God is, and what God did on the cross. Who you're you saving from. And a lot of people don't know who they're saving from. They think they're saving from the devil. Like the devil has power to, no, you're saving from the wrath of God. So it's a lot of ways of teaching. So a lot of preachers, they don't like to sin. Why? Because they like to put a motivation, because people don't want to talk about that. But I mean, every athlete knows total depravity. You know, not good enough. You're never good enough.
Right.
You're always going to get better. So for me, it was not very hard to understand this book, this playbook, because it is, I understand who I am in this story. So I really think every president needs some mighty men of war, like David. Remember David?
Yeah, of
David,
course.
You do know that took a year for him to repent?
Yeah.
So Nathan wait almost like a year to come and challenge David. Remember, he came to David. Imagine a year that guy was suffering because he murdered his best soldier. He pregnant the woman. The story of Bathsheba is like, was disgusting. And then that guy comes to him and say, they have this guy who owns a lot of sheep. So one guy has only one sheep. And he tell the story. And they say the guy who had a lot of sheep got the other sheep and killed it. And David said, this guy deserves to die. Bring him here now. And he looked at David and said, that guy is you. So he dropped on his knee and he repented. So that's the beauty of it. All these guys, they're doing things for their own pocket or for their own self. They can repent. But I cannot come here and say,
Right.
I agree. And I'm not saying names. You know, we know people by their fruits. So I don't see fruits of these people they're around, you know, Trump that I can tell, say, okay, you know, so I wish, you know, Trump would have Paul Washer around him, you know, would bring guys like Joe Beek, you know, would bring guys that will be able to, you know, really name, you know, some Presbyterians, some great Baptist guys that reform, they're biblical, sound doctrine. But it's hard when you have a lot of people there that they are creating, you know, we call this gospel that's, you know, tingling your ears, that, you know, it's all about money and prosperity. I don't like that. I just think this is, people are sick of that. And I mean, it's time for us to show people, let's work out. You want to come work out? You want to know who God is? Okay, let's first know, who are you? Are you a good man, or you're not a good man? What the Bible talk? Let's go to Romans 3. Go to Romans 3, check it out. Who are you? So the book says a lot about you, a lot about God. But if you don't know, now you follow some teacher because they talk to your flesh. And when you have your flesh feed, you know who's running.
Yeah, the devil. So there's so much to unpack there, and I have so many questions. But one of the first questions I want to ask you is Trump. You brought up David, and a lot of people compare Trump to David, that Trump was chosen by God to lead our country right now. Is that, do you believe that, or do you think that's overstated? What are your thoughts there?
First of all, the Bible says that every leader, good or bad, everything that happened in this world, God has, it's a decree. It's a decree of nothing happened by accident. So for me, it's everything that happened. One hair fall from your hair was God.
Right.
The grounds of, you go to the sea and you grab sand, he knows every little grain of, so he knows how many. Trying to count just in one hand, you'll not be able to count. So first of all, God is sovereignty. We look in Psalm 139, when David started talking about the sovereignty of God, before I say something, you already know the words are coming out of my mouth. So don't put God in a shelf that God, surprise, oh my God, I didn't know Trump get elected. Oh, now what I'm going to do? God is not working. You got to understand, he's not doing nothing work. Everything was decree. So now it's just happening. It's hard to understand the God's mind. Just thinking about the universe. Look to the sun. Look to the moon.
But does that contradict free will? Because some people would say that contradicts free will.
So I don't believe in free will. I believe in free choice. So what's free will is? So first we got to go there. So we got to unpack a lot of things. Free will is when you have only one essence. After Adam had free will, if you go there in Genesis, God gave a command for Adam, cultivate and protect. Mm-hmm. That was the duty. Cultivate and protect. So the work didn't come after sin.
Sure.
So he had to cultivate the garden and to protect. He protect? No, he didn't protect. Mm-hmm. Why? Because when the woman eat the fruit, nothing happened.
Right.
But when Adam eat the fruit, so he didn't protect his wife. So when we see that, so when Adam ate the fruit, what first thing happened to Adam? He hid himself.
He hid himself, yeah.
Why he hid himself? He had nothing to surround. So he already knew he did something wrong. Mm-hmm. And then God comes to the garden and say, Adam, where are you? It's like you, when you see your child, she did something wrong. She's hiding. Where are you, honey?
Yeah.
And you just want her to admit.
Right.
But she can't.
Right.
She's so prideful.
Right.
Why is she so prideful? Why you never taught her, your daughter, that? Mm-hmm. Because of sin. So free will is only when you have one essence. So remember, if you eat that tree, you're going to become knowing good and evil.
Right.
So now there is no more free will. We cater always to sin. So who taught your daughter to lie? Do you ever taught your daughter to lie? She's from herself. So I love a preacher, Vitor Belfort. He's not alive anymore. He was my favorite. He said, if a child had the strength of gorilla, he would have ripped the head of the mother when he started crying. So God make them so innocent because they're so weak, so vulnerable, so we can teach them. So we have to teach them, as Deuteronomy 6 says. So for me, we have free choice. Free will is I understand that people, it's argue, a lot of people argue. So I'm not here arguing. I'm just trying to show you that we have an answer. Like, you think some bad stuff. Why? Because you cannot stop. You sometimes no one will put my my brain over here, all my thoughts. I don't want you because I'm ashamed of some things I think. So I know what I'm catered to, but God may give me a new heart, and now I understand that. So when I understand that, now I'll be able to fight. It's like this. My whole life was fighting another man. So when I go to James 4:4, if I am loving with this world, and it's not talking about the world, it's talking about the culture. This culture, paralyzed culture. Everybody hate each other. Everybody's like, oh, you this, or you that, or you this. No, listen. The number one thing God created, all the 10 commandments, Jesus resuming two. And this is for all of us. Resuming two. Love God.
And love your neighbor.
And love your neighbor. But the number one command
is God.
Fulfill 4 commands. If you see the 10 commands, the first 4 commands, it's all related you to God.
Yeah.
Don't love other gods. Don't worship other gods. The Lord names in vain. So everything is through God. So he resumed 4 commands into one. Love your God above everything.
Right.
And the other 6 commands, don't lie, love your father and your mother. So it's respect. So it's everything, respect to each other. So
yeah, because it starts at the foundation of God first, loving God first.
So that's why it's a
follows.
cross.
Yeah.
The first 4 commands is you and God. The other 6 command is you and man. That's why we have a cross. So this here is the pillar. You can never love your neighbor if you don't love God.
Sure.
You can never love your child. So I believe we're living in this world now because people don't understand the fact of what is love is. It's called sacrificial love. For it's not agape, it's agape love. Agape love, you have that God that died on that cross to save you from what? That's what the question is. Majority of Christians, they don't know what they're saving from.
From themselves.
From the wrath of God.
Yeah, and the wrath of God.
So the wrath of God is terrible. So imagine God is with wrath, was going to pour on you. Now when God looks at you, he looks at Jesus. So doesn't make you better than anyone, just make you more responsible. Now you're gonna show me your fruit. So when you accept God, your fruits lead me to the grace that's beautiful. So that's what I think we are into right now.
Right. So you always talk about this, and we've been in so many different conversations, but you always talk about who am I? Who's Vitor Belfort?
Yeah.
Who's Vitor?
Yeah, it's the identity. So who am I? So I understand my nature. My nature, it's Romans 3. That is no one good. So that's why I understand people say, Victor, you good. I say, no, I'm not. I'm not good. Why not? And they say, Victor, you are. Look at you. And I said, you don't know me, man. You asking me, I'm telling you, I'm not good.
Right.
So I know what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
But it's a fight inside of me. And it's a fight inside of all of us.
Right.
But the difference is, why pornography? Why, masturbation now in the young generation? Why people are so in love? Everything's so sensual, sexual. Because now they're consuming little kids like they're and they're not in basement. Don't think these guys are in power, elite.
Yeah, I mean, look at what happened with Jeffrey Epstein. The whole thing with Jeffrey.
And we don't know. No one talk about that anymore.
Right.
It like disappeared. Yeah. It's just to talk about war. No. What about inside war? I want to know what's going on in America. What's going on in the schools? Who are teaching our kids?
Don't get me started.
What about the algorithm of this social media? What's they doing with their brain? They're frightening their brain. Right. So we have a law. Can we push some good content, or we're just pushing hate content? So who are pushing this content? Mm-hmm. So the leaders, and so it's just bigger than what we think. I know I cannot change that, but we gotta start asking who are you? I know who am I, and I know who God is. So now, when I'm working into the sanctification process, is like 100% of my responsibility in 100%. I cannot work that sanctification.
Right.
It's the work. So it's the training. So I'm putting the grind. I'm training. I'm going to the gym. One more rep. Okay. I'm in this phase now. I'm in the building phase. I'm in the strengthening phase. I got to work my mobility. So I got to work my compassion. I got to work my meekness. My meekness. What is meekness? It's not weak. Meekness is like a strength. It's like a horse under control. I got to work my self-control. So it's a lot of things. I got to come to this gym, called my spiritual gym, and I got to exercise. So that's what I think is a lot of people don't understand. It's just being a fighter is the same. So I'm doing UFC every day with that Bible. It doesn't change.
Yeah, people think when you commit yourself to Christ or to the Lord, that life gets easier, but it's more of a struggle. I think it's harder. Life becomes a little harder, I think, going through that process. Because I feel like you get attacked from everywhere once you convert to Christianity.
Listen, carry your cross. And I want to be honest because I think you don't hear a lot of preaching. Maybe they are turning up right now. Oh, he just so Jesus talking about you carry your cross. You're gonna have tribulation, and whoever promised your life when you accept Christ, your life's gonna get easier. They are lying to you.
I know.
To your face. But guess what? We have that Christianity. It's available for people now. You can buy.
Right.
You can watch film. You can watch preachers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hey, you're beautiful. No, you're not.
Right.
You're not beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get yourself together. You got to love your wife.
Right.
You got to love your children. And we're talking, how many hours you see your kids, your daughter?
We talked during the week, maybe if I get 10 to 12 in a week, Monday through Friday, but weekends I'm with them all the time. All the time, yeah.
How many hours she's in schools every day?
6.5, 7.
So you see how many hours she's with in this education. And I'm going to show you.
Yeah, Sean, pull it up.
Yeah, we're going to pull it up. Who the system, we read Deuteronomy 6. Parents, you're supposed to be the majority of, you are the responsible for your education of your child. Right. So sometimes I got to correct my daughters. So every day, no, this is wrong what you learn in school. And my daughters now, they know, so they are 16. But before, oh my God, it was a battle. No, Dad, this is wrong. You learned it was wrong. Open it. Oh, Dad, wow, it's true. What they teaching you in school. So it's almost like you have to rewind the brain of your daughter every day. Because besides that, they have a phone. And they have a phone and they have a influencer who's telling them about God or telling them what to dress, telling them how to live their life. So you have so many people are co-parenting with your child.
Right,
so
it's tough.
If you are a father and if you are a mother and if you're a husband and a wife, you have to feed your family. And where's your family is getting fed by? Like what's the rule? Who rules your house? In my house, we got the Bible. So make sure if you get the Bible, what the text says. So that's my big thing for parents.
So let's go through this. So who's raising your child? Before 1750, the biblical model, children were raised at home. The father taught faith, work, and character, which is in Deuteronomy 6. 1760 through 1850, the Industrial Revolution happened. Work moved to factories. Parents left the home. The family began to become fragmented. 1800 and 1900, public education. The modern school system took over. Formation, teaching the left. Go back up. Right there. System took over formation. The school teaching left the home. I guess somebody left the home. I guess the dad left home and went to state. Okay, keep going.
So Stanley Hall invented the concept of adolescent.
The adolescent, a neutral zone of responsibility emerged. That was 1904. 1945 through 1960, the youth culture. The teenager was born. The market started selling to the culture. The young culture began raising children. Okay,
this is it, and that's the danger. That's when 1945. We're talking about Elvis Presley. The Marilyn Monroe. All the sensuality came. Showing your legs, and then women becomes more. They used to dress differently. I think the first guy who took the shirt off in America was like 1960. Thinking about everybody goes to the beach. They don't go now. They go out almost naked. So
yeah.
I want you to understand when it's not a lot of time ago. You got to understand history, and we're talking about history now. Look at this: 1970 and 2000. That's when your television
Entered the home.
and now this thing. And so now go back to the
Keep
next
going.
one.
Yeah, go to the next one.
Now it got worse. This is it. iPhone, social media. Now from 2007 to now, the media, it's in the palm of your hand, teaching your children with dopamine addiction, comparison. So now the algorithm never sleep. Thinking about that, 24 hours. You're teaching, they teaching the children. So your children, it's been teaching by this algorithm. And they don't have, and Trump didn't put a rule for that. Where's the rule for AI? I need some rules.
Yeah, there's none.
There is no rules. So you kidding me?
Yeah.
Come on,
The
Trump.
only thing is name, image, and likeness, where they can't grab your voice and use it to make money. That's the only thing that he's.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I need some rules.
Yeah.
What is the rules?
Yeah.
What's the rules?
It's the Wild Wild West right now.
So
with
is it
AI.
why? Because it's money.
Money, a ton of money.
So it's very easy. And I'm not here claiming. I'm just saying, I need to see some facts. The facts is, another day a father removed the video game from his child,
And got killed.
get killed.
Yeah.
So what we waiting for to create some rules?
I agree that there needs to be parameters.
X. So I love all these these billionaires, these trillionaires. Great, they're doing a great job.
Sean, can you look this up? I know that Mark Zuckerberg just went through. They blamed Meta for a lot of things that are going on with social media and children. Could you look that
But
up just to make sure?
that's a fact. That's a fact. So
Yeah.
so they can become a solution.
Right.
The question is, are we willing to
Right.
suffer
Right.
to get better? So that's the thing. There is no way you can get to God with no suffering.
Right.
There is no way
100%.
you can becoming a successful businessman
Without
like
suffering.
you without suffering.
Yep.
So right now we are trying to get the good, and I mean money ruling the world. So the Bible says that you cannot worship to God. You cannot share the throne with. So either you love one and hate one. And it's not the money, it's the love of money.
Right.
So how I know people love money? Look their heart, look their fruit. So it is simple, but it's very easy to claim it. You want to be good in two sides.
So right here, so Meta told to pay $375 million for misleading users over child safety. Right, there it is, right there.
So
Let me read it really quick. According to New Mexico, has ordered Meta to pay $375 million for misleading users over the safety of its platforms for children. An injury found that Meta. I need glasses. A jury found that Meta, which owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, was liable for the way in which the platforms endangered children and exposed them to sexually explicit material and contact with sexual predators. Right there. It's right there.
So right now, if let's say Mark Zuckerberg get converted, let's say he accept Jesus, just like we're watching the guy from reggaeton. What's his name?
Daddy Yankee.
Daddy Yankee. Man, I'm so proud of you, brother. So proud of you. I'm so happy to see you are becoming a man of God. So it's going to cost you a lot of money. Don't worry. All this is a payoff. It's a great investment are you doing because you're going to get things that no money can buy. So I'm proud of him. But let's talk about Zuckerberg.
Really quick on Daddy Yankee. And funny you say about the money because he talks about how he left $100 million and he says his knees were shaking. But he said he couldn't take that money because it wasn't God's money.
So so for me, he's my hero now.
Yeah.
That's the type of guy that I look up to. So let's talk about Meta. He can put a rule right now and stop with all
100%.
these images. He can stop.
Yeah, because he's in control of the company.
So right now, why don't stop the predators? Why they start consuming children? Like Tim Tebow, for example. He is fighting in the battle. Let's say Tim Tebow owns Meta. So we got to create, we got to understand when you die, you're going to have to be accountable for everything you did. So Andy, this is get tougher for me and you. Everything we do, and I mean, what do you mean everything? I mean everything. The way you wipe your butt, the way you do groceries, the way you treat people, so everything you do, the way you wash dishes, the way you treat people, the least of them. So you got to understand, you are faithful in the little, you be faithful on the big. So, and people don't realize how danger this can become if you don't have a purpose of living. So I always like to tell people, and I'm going to tell you to do this, and you're going to do it, and I promise you, it's going to help you so much. You come to your house, put all your children, your wife, your daughter, everybody sit down around you and say, okay, you give them blank paper, give them a pen and a paper. You have a week to write a letter for yourself. Let's say you're dying in a week. In a week, you're going to die. That letter you want me to read. I want you to write a letter that you want me to say about you. And now you're putting all your good stuff. Am I right?
I've done this exercise, by the way, and they mailed it to me. I have it sitting in my drawer in my desk at home.
So and now
I haven't opened it, but I wrote my eulogy. Is what I did.
Yes.
I wrote my eulogy.
Yeah. So
what would people say about me?
Yeah.
You know?
No, but no. What God says about you.
Right.
Because what people said about you is one thing.
Right.
They don't know your secret life.
Right.
They don't know your private life.
Right.
You write a letter as you're writing to God. Say, God, I'm coming to meet you. And now this is what I want them to know about
That's
me.
That's powerful.
No one knows that I was addicted to this and I'm still struggling to this. Set me free from this. So you see, I'm putting the stuff that I'm still doing. Let's say, whatever it is, you put it there. I'm still using a language is inappropriate to my friends. Help me clean my lips. I still struggle with that. But I don't want them to know. I don't want to die knowing that I never changed. So you start putting the things, because you always are going to write a letter that you want people to think about your good stuff. I'm talking about your bad stuff. So when you write a letter about you, you got to put things that you don't want anymore. And like I said, and we do this every day with my wife and my children. And this is going to change everybody's life right now. Get your family, sit down with them. You be the first. The man leads the answer. First question, what do you don't like about me that I have stopped doing? What do you don't like? Tell me in my face. And you don't defend yourself. Let your wife be the first. Let your older son, and then goes to, so they talk about that. And then you take notes. Today, last week, we were with the V. We did this in the car. It took us 3 hours. We couldn't finish.
Got a long list about you?
It's about everybody.
Okay,
so
everybody.
Remember, start with me, goes to my wife,
Right.
and then goes to the V, goes to Victoria, goes to Kiara.
So it took 3 hours.
So it took 3 hours and we couldn't finish. It was so profound. It's so profound.
That's powerful.
But you don't understand. It's so profound because they don't just talk right now, because I've been doing this for so many years. So when they talk, I investigate it. And I said, okay, David, I understand. How would you help me? If you are me, what would you do now? What would you tell me? And I know I'm here, but what would you do if you can kind of just come and fix it like a machine and say, I think you should talk that way. I think you should pursue that way. So I investigated. And then the second question is, what would you like me to do that I'm not doing? And the last one is, what you love me to do that you want me to keep doing. So it's called the tree ratio. It's like positive, negative, and two positive. So we have to understand, we are living in a time that who are the heroes of these people? Who are they following? What are they liking? It's all about cars, jewelry. It's all about fancy. They want to show how prosper they are. I don't see what are you? Help me. You're an athlete. You're a businessman. What are you teach me that I can take into my life? I like entrepreneurs, business owners. They're creating things. I was talking to this guy who created like an Instagram for the helping, sex trafficking. He was telling me the things he did with Tim Tebow. I was so in love. I said, let me be part of this. Let me be part of that, because the things of these people are doing, and no one knows about them, but everybody knows about the guy who did a, you know,
The streamer.
ISO speed, or
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
and I
yeah.
mean it's good. I'm not saying it's bad, but I mean, what we're doing to helping other people, not just bring entertainment. Are we helping them to become better husband, better kids? I want to help their kids of this businessman.
But you know what? Funny thing you mentioned, because a lot of the stuff that I've been talking on the show is about these streamers, and they're doing the craziest things to get likes and views, and it obviously number one is not godly. Number two, it's very disrespectful. They walk up to men that are walking with a lady, and they start hitting on the girl, and the girl leaves with her. It's just crazy, crazy stuff. But the question I have, I think it's a bigger problem than just one streamer or the other streamer. It's these streaming platforms allowing these kids to do it. You talked about Meta, but allowing them to do all this crazy stuff, and they're paying them a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
And it's hard for these kids to walk away from that.
How you stop?
How do you stop it? Yeah, like how do you stop it?
Let's talk about this. OnlyFans start for sports. Am I right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yeah. It started only for sports. Yeah.
For sports. And,
Yeah,
and
for
now
sports.
OnlyFans is what?
All chicks and
All
dudes
prostitution.
or prostitution.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's okay. No, it's not okay. No, it's not okay.
You know what's crazy? The founder of OnlyFans,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
died.
Where he's not? Where is that right now?
Yeah, look him up, Sean.
Yeah, I know. I saw.
Yeah.
So the things that you're gonna die.
Right.
And maybe you are a very wealthy human being right now. You listen to this. You listen. You say, man, this crazy fighter UFC? What he's talking about? He's talking about. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about because I live it. I live what I'm talking. So I have the right to talk. So when you see my fruits, he knows my fruits. You know my fruits. And right now, the only thing I'm caring about right now is like people are not advocating for protecting our children.
Right.
But I'm protecting the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Men's are treating women like a piece of cake. And women's are treating men like no one wants to be a father anymore. Having children, oh, you crazy?
Yeah.
On this world? Yeah.
Well, you see our birth rates are down, and the Muslims are
but
by like 6 times.
But we have to learn one thing. I'm not here to proclaim, our religion. Jesus said, love your enemy.
100%.
So I gotta love even my enemy. Yeah. So we are the only religion that has grace. Every other religion is by works. I do this to get this. I do this to get that. Our religion is different. By grace alone, I'm saved. So now, in this phase, we are dealing with each other in this world, and a lot of people are.
Yeah.
We are talking about. I would love to help mentoring billionaires and say, okay, Victor, what you can help me? I don't know. You already have a lot of money, but I can mentor in one thing. How's your marriage like? How's your raising your children like? I can help them.
Right.
I can really help to fix that. And when you look to the children of these athletes, when you're born a woman and you want to become a man, whose fault it is, it's your obligation to raise your children, not the culture to raising your children. I cannot accept it whose fault is your fault. We have, as a parent, we got to protect our children. And right now, we are not. We are letting them being abused and teach by these algorithms. So I don't know what we have to do it. But I know one thing. We have to follow the playbook. Deuteronomy 6 teaching. You teach your children. I'm not saying don't send your children to the schools. The world, yeah. I recommend if your children are too young, go do homeschooling. Go put her in an environment because her brain is not too developed. So trying to protect her as much as you can, trying to teach her at home, trying to use the Bible, trying to use some tools, some good books. I have so many good books to offer you. I have so many people to point you, but I'm not there with you. But I would love to create if we can create something, Andy, like where we can raise, put in all these billionaires, put in the room, and I can come up with how can you protect your family, how can help you, become successful in an area that your money are not helping.
Yeah.
So this is something that I'm good about it because I know, because what I know, because the playbook, the Bible teaches us how to do these stuffs and how to point them into this direction. So I feel like people right now are becoming a slave of the system, and they create a church for that. They create a movement for that. And then you dichotomy. The economy.
Mm-hmm.
You do your religious work over here, but you're cheating, lying, doing but as long as I'm giving this money, as long as I'm going to this place,
I'm good.
I'm lifting my hands up, I'm doing my work. But guess what? Your heart. Matthew 7, Lord, Lord,
Mm-hmm.
we preach in your name, we heal in your name, and we did miracle in your name. So they did these three amazing things. And Jesus said, I never knew you. Depart from me. So we gotta understand that we're gonna be responsible for everything we do in here.
Yeah. So I know you and I have had a lot of conversations about. You're very passionate about helping business leaders and men, and we have a lot of things coming in the pipeline. We've created a sales and leadership conference that is going to be June 4th and June 5th. We're going to put the description, the link. If you want to join, you're a business leader or own a business and want to come, it's just going to be an incredible weekend. And we're really going to pour into you and talk about all the things that maybe you're not talking about right now. And that's the things that we want to get into. And then we have Route 1726, that is a movement that you and I and the team is creating. We're creating a podcast, and we're going to help men that are going through difficult moments. And I think it's so important because these billionaires, these millionaires are the leaders of society. So if we can get to them, right? People look up to them. If we can get to them, now that starts trickling to the people around them.
When Jesus said, go for the widows, go for the poor, and go for the orphans. The most miserable men right now are the billionaires.
100%.
They're miserable.
They're poor.
Yeah, they poor. So I really feel like, unfortunately, because when I look to the structure that they create, they have protection, they have health insurance, they have plenty cash, plenty that. But then you look to the infrastructure of their family. I like to look for the infrastructure. I say, where is your pillars? So another day I was talking to one of them, and I said, what's the most valuable thing you have? And the guy said, my family. And I said, tell me the truth. In the past 5 years, but I take vacations. I do this. And I say, what about the daily grind? I don't want to know about you went to the yacht, you create a yacht, you went to the yacht, you present them the best vacation. But what about the other 266 days of the year? Where are you? And he looked at me and said, yes, Vitor. I think I got to get better. Say yes. So you got to fix it. So you have a licking on your roof, and you putting all the stuff. So, and I'm not perfect, man. I fell in a lot of things. But one thing I do with my kids that maybe will help them, I call them. My son lives in another city. I call them. I use all the ways to be present. And like I said, we have technology. It's a beautiful thing. I don't see my mom I'm with them every week. I'm talking. I'm doing Bible study. I'm doing this. I'm doing training. I'm putting my phone. We have dinner with David. David is on the FaceTime. We talking. We conversation.
Love that.
Texting, sending things. So it's constantly. So it's like. Now you see, you don't need to be present sometimes, and you don't need to be there all the time.
It's intentionality behind
you're going,
the time
your daughter is on school. Okay, you're going to give me 5 minutes. Let me pray with you. You're in your break or whatever. Call me. You see something, say something.
The most enjoyable part of my day is when I wake up in the morning, I take my daughter to school.
I know.
I have 30 minutes with her in the car, and sometimes we're quiet, but then sometimes we're just talking, and she's the funniest, and we always pray right before we get to class. Right before we get to the school, we always say our prayer, and it's my favorite part of my day, and it really sets my day going forward because it's the most precious thing that I have is my family, and I always thank God first for my wife because that's the greatest gift that He gave me because He gave me those two beautiful children, and that's my joy. That's my why. That's why I wake up
Yeah.
every single day. It's them.
We're not perfect.
I know.
And we fell.
Oh my
And I
God.
ask, and
Yes.
another thing, I ask forgiveness.
Oh yeah.
David, I remember when you were 10. Remember that day? I think I did something wrong with you. I think I disciplined you over the board.
I did the same thing with my daughter,
I always remind
and I've
them.
asked God for forgiveness too.
So that's a beautiful thing. So you can start there. Let's say you're a billionaire and your children are 25 now and they lost. Call them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm sorry. I failed. I built a business. I built an empire, but I fell with you.
Right.
So how can I make up to that?
Mm-hmm.
So can we meet regular? I know you live in another state, but can we have lunch?
Right.
In like Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Can we have lunch together?
Mm-hmm.
You there? I'm here. You use it. Use all. So remember, YouTube, all this. I love all these tools. Great tools, but we need to put some order. We need to put some rules. We need to go. If I reward negative behavior, what I'm doing, I'm feeding a monster.
Well, that's what streaming. The whole thing with streaming is
So
the same.
whole thing with streaming, we need to. I hope President Trump put a rule on regulation. I remember he was protecting us from TikTok and all, but I mean, we're not protected at all. We are vulnerable kids. The predators are coming out of our children, using all this. So we need to put some rules on AI. We need to put some rules on this. And I love AI. But let's it reward for good.
Right.
And we are rewarding
The bad.
So
Yeah.
that's what polarization now is big now.
Yeah, no, and it trickles down in every facet of society. We got to close soon here, but the last question I have is when people come to God, they're at their lowest moment. For me, it was when I was at my lowest moment with the business, and I just didn't know what direction I wanted to go. And like you said, I thought money was the thing that was going to make me happy. And I realized that that's not the fulfilling part of life for me. But what was your lowest moment because I know you've been a Christian, but there's lukewarm Christian, and then there's people that really come to God. What point in your life was that moment?
Oof, man, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay, this is it. Okay. So, Peter, we call the progressive awakening. Peter had a progressing way, Progressive is more like they have a journey. I think me was more progressive. I didn't have a day. I have so many days that I fall. Like Peter denied Jesus three times.
Yeah.
Judas just denied him once.
Yeah.
So it's like, but the thing is, one could not. The heart was in a different place, and we know God create. Behind that is God. God give the parables. Some people understand. Some people don't understand. Some people is going to be hard soil. That's it. I don't know. It's God. God create things that we cannot change. And the data is in the Bible. Narrow is the way, not just the door, the way. People think it's just the door is narrow. Or the way is narrow. So it's the door and the way. So you gotta, this is something a lot of Christians don't understand. So mine was progressive. Some people were more, confrontation was like, Paul. He wasn't a horse. He fell.
Jesus came.
For me, I had so many days. And you have other people, they come to Christ to the lowest moment. And I feel like now I'm in that place. Now I just got to keep putting the work. So I keep building my muscles. So, but they have a point, and everybody's going to have a point. The key is when you have that point, where are you feeding from? So that's the key. I recommend people, when you get that feeling of the lowest moment, is where are you getting? Don't go to a place where you're going to be comfort. go to a place where you're gonna be confronted.
Mm.
So I don't want to be comfort when
I want to be confronted.
I want to be confronted. So that's the difference. People are going to comfort.
Make me feel good.
So that's the key. You want to go to a good trainer. I'm not. Maybe I'm not the guy
Right,
to
right.
make you feel good.
Right.
Because I'm gonna have to make you feel pain. So, but it's not.
Pain is the biggest teacher,
But
right?
it's not bad pain.
Right.
It's the reality.
Yeah.
So we call when God gives the law we call is the mirror. I cannot fulfill that.
Right.
It's too much.
Right.
So that's the point. Because Jesus, he will meet you where you are, but he will not accept you the way you are. So remember, that woman was caught in adultery. A lot of people think Mary Magdalene was a prostitute. She wasn't a prostitute at all. So she wasn't in committing adultery. Okay? So when she's there, they brought her, and they trying to catch Jesus. They want to kill Jesus. Remember, these guys are trying to catch Jesus.
Yep.
And she was caught in adultery. What we should do with her? The law said, you got to stone her to death. And he was writing on the sand. Nobody knows what they're writing on the sand, but he looked up and said, okay, great. Say, let's do this. Do it, but make sure you do it. Throw this first stone if you don't have any sin on you. So he make these guys thinking about it.
Right.
Their conscience condemned them. So look, they got condemned. They left. They should ask forgiveness.
Right.
They were talking to God,
yeah.
Jesus.
And Jesus, yeah.
But they felt condemned, but they didn't accept it. They went back to the religions, but they didn't stone the lady. And then she was there, said, what about you? What Jesus said to her, go, sin no more. She's becoming she become reverse of this guy. So what struck me, people don't talk about it. What about the guys they left? They felt condemned, but they cannot accept forgiveness. So a lot of people are going to the wrong church. They're going to the wrong pastors. They're reading the Bible wrong. So I recommend you finding a pastor, a local church. You need a biblical church. You need a biblical pastor who's going to point you to what the text says and is going to confront you. Because the reality is, we all deserve what? We all deserve judgment. So we all deserve judgment. Everyone. But his grace touch our heart. And we got to preach that grace.
Amen.
And it's available for all of us.
Amen.
So that's what was my lowest point. I feel lonely sometimes.
You do?
Yeah, of course. I feel lonely. Before I'm driving here, I hear this guy lost his job. I feel. I call my friend and say, "Can you pray for me?" I feel my heart is kind of stirred because I feel for that person. I feel for them. Just bury a baby.
Terrible.
I mean, it's just so you see. You got to start sympathize with people, and then when we do, you want to help them. So I don't know where you are. Maybe you commit a crime. You were addicted to something, or maybe you were in the wrong gospel, or you are worshiping the wrong gods, or maybe you are in a religion of works, and you say, "Man, it's interest." So we have the 4 ways of God created these 4 ways of becoming a Christian. Number 1, the Word. Number 2, prayer. Number 3, going to communion, a local church, having a good, solid church. And number 4, baptism and the Lord's table. So I'm excited because this Sunday is going to be the first Lord's of the week. I can't wait for this Sunday to go to church and eat that bread and drink that wine. The blood of, so I do this every month in the remembrance of what he did for me. So it's Passover. You know, for us, it's not about what's happened before. So Resurrection Day, it's every month.
Right.
So we're celebrating that. So this Sunday is going to be a Sunday that we're going to do it. It's the first month of the month. It's the first Sunday of the month. So, but I recommend you, this is the recipe for
Amen.
a successful life.
Amen. Well, Vitor, again, thank you for coming on. There's so much I can talk to you about.
Oh, it's
And we could be here all day.
Route 17.
Route 1726. Yeah,
coming.
man, we're gonna create a movement.
It's gonna be
and
fun.
it's based on the Book of Acts, right? Acts 17:26. All nations were created equal under God.
It's all nations created equal under God, but not all of them are equal.
Not all of them are equal.
It's,
Absolutely.
that's the beauty of it. It's like understanding that God created everything, but I just don't want to be a creation.
Right.
I want to be part of the family.
Right.
I want to be in the family. So that was the whole purpose of Israel could not understand. Remember the circumcision?
Mm-hmm.
Now is for the Gentiles, for the Greeks.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's open, it's available.
Yep.
So if I don't know what stage are you in, but you're gonna have fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. Check in the link below. We have the sales leadership training on June 4th, June 5th. Hit that link, and hopefully we see you there. Thank you, guys. Catch you guys on the next one.